This evening, let's explore the 8th verse of Padam Pasangi's 100 Verses of Advice. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. This is the Lama you are looking for. This evening, we will chant and meditate and enjoy a lesson or two. But first, if you love Star Wars and you wish to meditate as transformatively as Obi-Wan Kenobi who rested his tuchus upon the toasty sands of Tatooine, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. Let's see. What am I looking for? Well, let's hit button 4. If at any point during this evening's live stream you have a question about meditation or philosophy or even chanting, there is no need to be shy. Simply type your question in the chat window on the right-hand side of the screen. Family and friends are no more real than the magic show. People of Tingri and your fondness for them, do not tie yourself down. The same family and friends that look, feel, send, and seem so very real as we inhale can feel as non-graspable as the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn as we relax into our exhalation. Now, this doesn't mean that we are indifferent. It means we love them non-neurotically, knowing that it's all well and good to do our best to do the right thing, but we are not omnipotent. And after wishing others well and doing our best, there's very little else we can do. And there's so much that is just out of our control. So once again, do the right thing without being coercive, without being manipulative, without being foolish. Do the right thing, but know when to let go. I would now like to subject you to an entire minute of housekeeping. Every 12 hours, I broadcast 1 or 2 live streams without any ads other than this. With your help, this channel could help to support the next generation of nuns, monks, yogis, lamas, and even brick-and-mortar meditation centers, each replete with a resident teacher and their apprentice. If this speaks to you, if it sounds like a good idea, you are welcome to help out even for as little as the cost of 1 cup of coffee a month. Just use your smartphone's camera to capture this QR code, or simply click one of the donation links in the description area below the video. I'd like right now to answer a question from Reddit. Gotta push the right button though. It only works if I push the right button. Here we go. So someone on Reddit asked, let's see. Puzzled Evidence asked, from my understanding, the wisdom behind equanimity is that everything is impermanent, and thus you shouldn't have cravings or aversions towards them, otherwise you will suffer. So I would like to explore this with the person who wrote the question. This is not your fault, but you were taught incorrectly. Once again, this is not your fault, so there's no reason to be defensive. So here's how it works. From a certain point of view, as they say on Dagobah once in a while, from a certain point of view, the first noble truth is there are stressors. Some are circumstantial, some are physical, some are interpersonal, some are mental. These are not imaginary. These are not a question of perspective. There are stressors. And from an evolutionary, the presence of stressors influences natural selection. So we evolved the ability to respond to stressors. And we have, as humans, two reward centers. Our older reward center is dopamine oriented, and it rewards for reproduction or things that lead to reproduction. It's very much pleasure oriented. The second, or the later, in terms of evolution, the later reward cycle, or not reward cycle, but reward center, is oxytocin oriented, and it rewards for things that give us, enhance our relationships, be they professional or personal or platonic or intimate. So the first may be rewards for pleasure. The second is rewards of fulfillment. So we have in terms of neuroscience, we have two warring reward systems. Well, although there's seldom much we can do about the external stressors in our life, there's a lot we can do to actually worsen them. And when we function, and we who are mammals, when we who are primates, functions as if we were mindless slaves to our survival mechanisms, that the survival mechanisms of shoving or reaching or clinging, then not only does it exacerbate the stress in our life, but it undermines the secondary reward system of fulfillment and peace. The third noble truth is there's a solution towards this, and the fourth noble truth is that solution is the eightfold path. So it may sound like a shortcut to say, oh, then just don't experience shoving or reaching or clinging. But if we try to not experience the things, all we will accomplish is the repression of our mindfulness. We won't stop experiencing those things. We'll just stop perceiving our experience of those things. Kind of like saying, like a little kid who plays hide and seek, and their strategy is to cover their own eyes, and they assume that because they can't see them, you can't see them anywhere either. You know, so it's like, okay, no one can see me now. I'm safe. So that's the folly of trying to undermine, deliberately or accidentally, undermining our own mindfulness. Let's not do that. So the Buddha's method is not to undermine our mindfulness, but to notice the present moment, whether it is external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. To notice the present moment viscerally and vulnerably and passively and randomly during the inhalation. And then during the exhalation, we physically relax and mentally release. So we're not preemptively preventing the experience of shoving or reaching or clinging. We are practicing in a remedial sense. Now, there are people, some people are sincerely confused. Other people are just maliciously oppressive, and they try to crush the spirits of their students because they feel that the crushed folks are easier to manipulate. And so these people will say, well, if you are experiencing aversion or avarice or clinging, then you must be a bad Buddhist. Malarkey. If you experience aversion or avarice or clinging, it means you have a pulse. We are wired to experience those things. It's part of our fundamental wiring. It's built into our basal ganglia. It's a survival instinct. So the problem is not the presence of those things. The question is, will those things just be occurring in the background of our life, or will they be our boss? Will they be our masters? Will we be their slaves? So we use the Eightfold Path, contemplations of letting go, contemplations of love, the enthusiasms to practice kind communication, kind conduct, kind commerce, as well as mindfulness and meditation, we practice those 8 things in a remedial way. And the idea is like, well, with anything, once you master something, you're able to do it spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effortlessly without thinking about it, like tying your shoelaces. You've probably mastered tying your shoelaces, and although as a child it required the epitome, the zenith, the utmost of concentration, now you can tie your shoes without even thinking about it. Same thing with riding a bike. So same thing with the mastery the Buddha, the freedom the Buddha offers us. It's not freedom from the presence of hating or craving or clinging. It's freedom from the tyranny of those things. To be able to notice those things and let go of them. And so that's the path the Buddha offers us. Now, there's lots of people, some of them just lazy-minded, some of them have hidden agendas who twist the teachings, sometimes in the name of expediency or convenience because they want to manipulate people. I have, in my youth, I was a member of a Christian cult, and they taught us to witness to people. And when we spoke to people who thought they believed in the same God we did, we would be very, very petty and picayune and try to convince them that everything they thought they knew about God and the Bible was wrong, and that they needed to start from scratch with us. And needlessly, I turned my back on that organization many decades ago. But I've seen that same tactic used in other cults. Christian cults and Buddhist cults and Hindu cults and the like. That whole predatory type of I'm going to break you down and then build you up sort of a thing. Why that's even used to a certain degree in the U.S. military boot camp. So excuse me, it's hay fever season, and I'm the mayor of Mikas. So there will always be people who will try to manipulate you. These people are not your friends. They do not have the ability to help you, nor do they have the real inclination to help you, although their words may indicate something different. So let's tie this up in a big red bow. The wisdom behind equanimity is this. When we find ourselves experiencing the stress of shoving or reaching or clinging, we can let go of any of those things using the tools that we will explore in just a few minutes. Just a few minutes. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to start this evening's practice. However, before I do that, I would like to do a second minute of housekeeping. I think this is the button. If you think I've earned it, if you feel I have earned it, type something in the chat window, give the live stream a thumbs up, and share it on social media. Okay, now let's get back to it. I'm going to tap button 9, and hopefully, here we go. Welcome to the latest iteration of Kind Gaze's Easy Tantra. So let's start with mantra meditation, and we'll start mantra meditation by reviewing the meaning of the mantra. So together, let's chant. Om, I invoke the wish-fulfilling Mani jewel of love and the purifying Pemi lotus of letting go, supplicating with whom may love and letting go be mastered by all. So do bear in mind that the wish-fulfilling Mani jewel, the wish-fulfilling jewel, is a metaphor for love. And the purifying Pemi lotus is a metaphor of letting go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Right view and right aspiration can serve as antidotes to confusion and are known by many names, such as Ngondro, Vipassana, Vipassana, and contemplation. So we're going to play with 4 contemplations right now, and we're going to blend them with mantra recitation. And here's the secret to really getting the most out of mantra meditation. During your in-breath, recite some sort of a rhetorical question. And during your out-breath, while chanting the mantra, do your best to physically relax as best you can. Believe it or not, gaining realizations, gaining spiritual freedom is as easy as practicing this way. So what I'd like to do is begin by contemplating the rhetorical question, how could hating feel stressful? Omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be me hung. And now let's work with the elective of craving. Omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be me hung. How could competing feel stressful? Whoopsie. Omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be me hung. Excuse me. Wow. And now let's switch to the fourth elective, clinging. Omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be me hung. Now, during our in-breath, let's play with a compassionate intention. Omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be me hung. Omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be me hung. Omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be me hung. Omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be me hung. Now let's use a rhetorical question to contemplate impermanence. Omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be me hung. Omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be me hung. Omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be me hung. Omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be me hung. Fourthly, we'll play with a rhetorical question to help us to let go. How could this not be me? Omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be me hung. Omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be me hung. Omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be me hung. Omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be mi hung, omani be me hung. So these four contemplations can be applied to whatever hate or craving or clinging we're experiencing in the moment. And here's the cool thing. We don't even need to be precise about what we're feeling. We could even say this thing, this yuck, this crap, this malarkey, whatever we're experiencing. We can be as vague as you want. These four exercises will still take the edge off and help us experience greater peace. Help us make so it's easy to say, I'm going to feel peace in the absence of that crap. Well, of course you will. Who wouldn't? What separates the adults from the kids is being able to feel peace in the presence of that crap. And these four exercises can help you become to make peace with whatever has come. There's a t-shirt I once saw. Perhaps you've seen it on Facebook. It goes like this. Whatever comes, let it come. Whatever stays, let it stay. Whatever goes, let it go. That doesn't mean whatever comes, shove it out the back door. No. Make peace with whatever befalls you. That's the Buddha's path. Some people can say, I can only have peace if everything's perfect. Well, that's what we call a gilded cage. And it's very tough to maintain that. And it's very, very stressful. But to be able to make peace with whatever befalls us, that is the freedom the Buddha offers us. Let's continue. We're going to briefly explore a very controversial version of the inner Gondro preliminary practices. There was a great Tibetan saint named Gyatso Rinpoche who lived in the 1800s in Tibet. As a very young man, he wrote a fundamentalist treatise on Gondro. As an old man at the very end of his life, he dictated his final meditation manual, which explores the entirety of the Buddha's path in a way that is not rigid but flexible, in a way that is not controlling but is instead laid back. After a lifetime of spiritual practice, he broke the chains of fundamentalism. And so it is from that perspective that I teach and that I practice. Let us begin by training in bodhicitta, or the mindset of enlightenment. Omani bimi hung, omani bimi hung, omani bimi hung, omani bimi hung. Let us train in refuge. Omani bimi hung, omani bimi hung, omani bimi hung, omani bimi hung. Let's train in kindness. Omani pemi hung, omani pemi hung, omani pemi hung, omani pemi hung. And now let's train in generosity. Omani pemi hung, omani pemi hung, omani pemi hung, omani pemi hung. Let's train in oopsie. We come now to bliss and letting go, which could serve as antidotes to craving and are known by many names. Such as completion stage, Anu Yoga, Bindu Mahamudra, and Tigle Dzogchen. So let's train in gratitude. Omani bimi hung, omani bimi hung, omani bimi hung, omani bimi hung. And now let's train in oneness. Omani bimi hung, omani bimi hung, omani bimi hung, omani bimi hung. Having completed our preliminary practices, we turn now to love and letting go, which could serve as antidotes to hating and are known by many names, such as generation stage, creation stage, mantra yoga, maha yoga, tantra mahamudra, and so-called dzogchen. Let's begin by by using love to leapfrog over our competitive tendencies. May all minds of all beings now be as peaceful and wise as a Buddha's mind, symbolized by a one-syllable mantra known as a zero bija mantra. Omani bimi hung, omani bimi hung, omani bimi hung, omani bimi hung. Omani bimi hung, omani bimi hung, omani bimi hung, omani bimi hung. Omani bimi hung, omani bimi hung, omani bimi hung, omani bimi hung. Omani Pime Yung, Omani Pime Yung, Omani Pime Yung, Omani Pime Yung. May all relationships of all beings now be as joyful and loving. Ha. I'm on to you. Typographical error. Okay. Let's see if the screen is still synchronized. May all relationships of all beings now be as joyful and loving as the Buddha's communications symbolized by the six audible mantra. Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung. Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung. Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung. Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung. May all bodies of all beings now enjoy the beautiful, healthy, perfected, and Buddhist thought of the blissful body of a yidam of lore and archetype of enlightenment. Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung. Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung. Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung. Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung. May all circumstances of all beings now be as safe and fortunate as a Buddha's paradise, pure land of Vati of Lord. Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung. Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung. Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung. Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung, Omani Mimi Yung. And now we switch gears from love to letting go, which will help us to leapfrog over our clinging tendencies. How is it that as we inhale, our mind's functions could seem quite clear, yet as we relax into our exhalation, they could feel as non-graspable as a cloudless sky or a bija of light? Omani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani pime hum. Omani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani pime hum. Omani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani pime hum. Omani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani pime hum. How is it that as we inhale the interpersonal life experience, take two. How is it that as we inhale the interpersonal experience of communication could be quite resounding? I wonder if I can fit them both on one line. Excellent. Yet as we relax into our exhalation, it could feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void or a mantra of light. Omani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani pimi ungomani pimi hum. Omani bimi ungomani bimi ungomani bimi ungomani bimi hum. Welcome to the live stream. When you have questions about meditation or philosophy or even chanting, type them in the chat window. Omani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani pimi hum. Omani pimi ungomani pimi ungomani pimi ungomani pimi hum. How is it that as we inhale our bodies could feel quite sensual, yet as we relax into our exhalation they could feel as non-graspable as a cloudless sky or a yidam of light? Omani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani pime hum. Omani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani pime hum. Omani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani pime hum. Omani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani pime hum. How is it that as we inhale our circumstances could appear... I have trouble pronouncing the words in this sequence. Let's try it again. How is it that as we inhale our circumstances could appear quite vivid, yet as we relax into our exhalation they could feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void or a vati of light? Omani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani pime hum. Omani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani pime hum. Omani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani pime hum. Omani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani mimi ungomani pime hum. Welcome to the live stream. When you have questions about meditation or philosophy, type them in the chat window. Having completed our 200 some odd repetitions of the 6-syllable mantra, we now turn our attention to silent contemplation. So we're going to begin with bliss and letting go. And one of the things we do in both Sutra and Tantra is work with the 4 bases of mindfulness, which are the circumstantial, the physical, the interpersonal, and the mental. And we're going to bring those into the dance, if you will, of impermanence and interdependence. So we're going to use the verb melt as a metaphor of impermanence to help us to leapfrog over our clinging tendencies. And we're going to use the inference of absorption as a metaphor of of interdependence to help us to leapfrog over our competitive tendencies. So we're going to begin with the circumstantial. As we breathe in, we're going to take, this is a rhetorical question. And during our in-breath, we're going to silently and mentally recite the first half. And during our exhalation, we're going to silently and mentally recite the second half. We're going to shift gears from the circumstantial to the physical. Our job is not to visualize if all we do is silently and mentally recite these words in harmony with our inhalations and our exhalations and our relaxations. If that is all we do, that's enough. We will make progress on the path. Let's shift gears from the physical to the interpersonal. And lastly, let's shift gears from the interpersonal to the mental. We now shift gears from bliss and letting go to the silent meditation of awareness and letting go, which serve as antidotes to clinging, while also slicing through the fundamental duality of dread and desire. They are known by many names, such as Zen, Chan, Jnana, Great Completion Stage, Mahasanti, Ati Yoga, Sutra Mahamudra, and Trekcho Dzogchen. Despite the grandiosity of their names, the technique is ridiculously simple. The essence of mindfulness is to mentally recite, notice this whenever we breathe, or during each in-breath as we sit here in meditation. Why is that? Every time we breathe in, we access the sympathetic nervous system, which is wired to perceive sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, scents, and the like, and also to perceive emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings. When we allow ourselves to perceive vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly, we can find that the only label we need to use is simply the pronoun this. The essence of meditation is to mentally recite relaxing during each exhalation. And why is that? Because every time we breathe out, we access our parasympathetic nervous system, which is wired for both physical relaxation and mental release. So that's it. Just by noticing and relaxing, we're able to plug into evolution's built-in therapist. So it's about 41 minutes after the hour. Let's meditate. Welcome to the live stream. When you have questions about meditation or philosophy, type them in the chat window. Let us practice 4 loving contemplations. Bija peace for all minds. Mantra joy for all speech. Yidam health for all forms. Vati luck for all lots. Let us seal our practice with 4 chants of universal love. May I, like kind gaze, master the Eightfold Path as well as liberate others. May all beings practice of kind communication, conduct, and calmness flow spontaneous and uncontrived. And now let us perform the chant of impermanent zeal and love. May each being take auspicious rebirth, master the Buddha's path, and then help others do likewise. Let us conclude with the 4 immeasurables. May everyone be free from stress, may everyone be happy. May no one be separated from the happiness. May everyone have balance from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging freed. If you feel I have earned it, type something in the chat window, give this live stream a thumbs up, and share it on social media. I intend to return for Thursday's early morning meditation in approximately 10.5 hours. Until then, may you and yours be happy and healthy. And if you are as geeky as me, this is the way.